Okay, good afternoon or good evening. I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley, physical therapist, life and health coach, and I'm here tonight to talk about fasting. And for the longest time, people have thought, well, fasting, oh gosh, that's hard. I always get a headache when I try that. And they're talking about mostly about a spiritual fast, but even any kind of fasting, which this is fasting food, um, is not going to give you a headache if you do it the right way. So that's the key to fasting successfully, is knowing the right way to do it. And that's what I teach in my program. So I'm signing people up right now. Hey, Dolores. I'm signing people up right now for my Team 21. This is my 21st challenge. And I signed up a girl today. And I literally got emotional while I was signing her up. And the reason I did is because I know the transformation that's going to happen in her life. She wants to lose 50 pounds, and she's going to do it. I believe it because she's ready. I have people that say, I've been watching your videos for 2 years, and I signed up. And I'm like, well, great. I'm glad you did. So now you're ready. Okay, so I want to tell you about something, though. Don't miss it. Tomorrow, I am interviewing one of my clients who has had an amazing transformation. So you don't want to miss that. So join me back tomorrow. Stay to the end. I am going to be drawing for some free supplements. I mailed some to Stacy that won last night today. I mailed her some vitamin D3 and K2. You need to take that together. And I'm going to draw again tonight at the end. So stay to the end and you'll see who wins. But you don't want to miss this information, because even if you've done intermittent fasting, there's probably going to be something in this video tonight that's going to help you to know more about it, or give you maybe even a little more incentive to do it a little bit more. Okay, so first of all, what I love about intermittent fasting is that you can stick to it, all right? So just doing the keto diet, it's hard to stick to that. Just doing the paleo or just doing Whole30, it's hard to stick to that. And even after a while with the keto diet, you'll hit a plateau where your body doesn't really burn the fat like you want it to. And so when you throw intermittent fasting on top of ketosis, that's when you really ignite what's going on and your body starts to really burn fat. And so that's why you want to do intermittent fasting. So in my program, I teach you how to do it and how to do it properly. There is a right and a wrong way. There's all kinds of options for fasting. But I want to tell you the one that works, that I've seen work for years, that works for me and has worked for me for 6 years. So I'm not going to go into all that now. I'm going to tell you the reasons why you want to fast. I'm not going to tell you how to do the fasting, okay? But really, fasting is just eating less often. It's not necessarily eating less food, although you do want it to be optimal food. It is just eating less often, okay? All right, so here we go. So, these other options like the Whole30 and the paleo, and, they kind of complicate your life, because you got to have these foods available. But when you're fasting, you don't have to have food available. If you have water or maybe your bulletproof coffee, you're good to go. So now when I go on a trip, used to I'm like, okay, I got to take some food, or thinking about where I'm going to stop and eat and all that. But now if I'm traveling, I'm like, I don't need any food. I don't even need any snacks. I might take some nuts or something, but I really don't need any food. I use that as an opportunity for cleansing. Okay, so all right, and these other options, they're really not sustainable. I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard anybody that stayed on Whole30 for a long time, because it's just not sustainable. I've mostly seen people that do these other things, but they go on and off and they end up ballooning back up. So yeah, but I love it when I run into one of my clients 3 or 4 years later. I see Dolores on here. Dolores has continued to maintain a healthier diet, I think, and I haven't seen her because of COVID, but I do believe she has. So you have to know that you can't sustain deprivation. You just can't. If you feel like you're missing something, you can't sustain that. And so that's why this works, ketosis and intermittent fasting. Okay, so the 3 E's that I like to say about intermittent fasting is, 1, it's enjoyable. You actually feel better when you're fasted. In fact, yesterday I fasted all day long and I felt so good. Today I actually ate lunch and I'm like, why did I do that? Yesterday was great. But just some days you think you want to eat, and that's okay. I had some salmon and some bok choy, some steamed bok choy for lunch. It was delicious. But afterwards I was like, I really wasn't hungry. Why did I eat that? Okay. Now I'm not saying you're going to totally not eat. All right, so let me tell you this. All right, let me finish these E's. All right, it's easy to do, okay, and it's effective. It's very effective, and that I just had one of my clients jump on our private app and talk about what really helped her to lose this 40 pounds, and she was like, it was the fasting. It was, it was the fasting every day. She actually fasts every day. She eats 1 meal a day. We call that OMAD. Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining me tonight. Okay. All right, so, and I want to tell you, you get results. It brings results, okay? So here's what I tell my clients. When you feel like you're hungry, then you just reach down and you grab some of that fat and you say, there's your meal. You've stored it. You've been storing it for a while. And, yes, it does help you feel better. Okay, you stored it, and so now when you don't put food in, your body's going to use what you've got stored. It's amazing how our body does that. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So let's talk about this. So here's the results you get. Now there are a few people that shouldn't be fasting, but not really very many. I think I know a lot of cancer patients will fast for healing because it does cleanse your body. Okay. So number 1, it increases your brain function. It decreases your cardiovascular stress. So when you eat, it actually stresses your heart because your body your heart has to pump a lot of blood to your gut, especially a big meal. You hear about people having heart attacks after a big meal. It's because, hey Teresa, it's because it's stressful on your heart to pump that blood to your digestive system to burn that up. Okay, all right. You get autophagy, which is where your body actually eats itself. It eats the fat that you've stored. And then your blood sugars will drop, and then you will decrease your inflammation. So let me just tell you this. Any food you eat, I don't care what it is, if it's spinach, is going to produce antioxidants, okay? Because you take the nutrients from the food, but there's parts that go into your body, all right? And especially when you're eating unhealthy foods, you have a lot of antioxidants. So what happens is if you eat a piece of pizza, it takes about 12 hours for your gut to digest that pizza. Now think about that, 12 hours. And you've probably eaten 2 meals, 3 meals on top of that. So you eat pizza at 7 o'clock, you're going to eat breakfast the next morning, and then another meal, or if you eat whatever it is you're eating, before it actually gets out of your body, you've eaten a couple of meals on top of that. So when you fast, what happens, and I love this visual of this in my mind. It's like taking out the trash. So you took your trash and you put it in your laundry room for a few days. And when you fast, what you do is like you've taken all that stinky trash and you've taken it to the dump. So you've literally cleansed your body. And there have been lots of studies done that people with cancer, if they've done long-term fasting, they've actually healed their body of the cancer. A lot of research out there about that. So the longest fast, I think, was 380 days, and he only drank water and took his supplements, and he lost 150 pounds. And you think, I didn't think you could go that long without food. Yes, you can. I probably couldn't. I don't have that much fat on my body, but I could go at least a month without food and just drink. And sometimes I will go do 48 hours. I've never done longer than 72 hours, I don't think. But my son-in-law just did a 7-day fast, and he was like, I was amazed at how good I felt after I got into it, okay? But don't try to fast until you're fat adaptive. And what is that? It means you've lowered your carbs, you've got into ketosis, and your body has learned how to use that fat for fuel. So I'm not telling you to go out today and fast. I'm telling you that you need to learn how to fast and how to start fasting. So this guy lost 150 pounds, and you know, he literally ate what was stored on his body. So think about the bear. The bear stores up food, he eats fruit and vegetables, and then during the winter he uses what he has. And when they come out of hibernation, they're all skinny, their neck is all skinny, and it's because they use that food that they've stored. And we can do that as well. And it is a great way to get more energy, to get mental clarity. So don't be afraid of it. I think every client I've ever had has said, I was afraid when I started it, but once I got going with it, it just was great. Okay, so, all right, I think that's it. I do want to share a product with you. I love to share products because, you know, there are some things that you miss when you do keto and you do intermittent fasting, but, you know, I've learned that, honestly, what I'm missing really is feeling bad. You know, that's what I'm missing, and I'm not really missing that at all. How do you keep from getting a headache? Who is that? Hey, Jenny. Okay, you have to be fat adaptive, all right? And you have to have switched. You're literally switching your system, okay? So if you go from being sugar adaptive, so how do you know if you're sugar dependent? If you have to eat often and you get a headache, then you're sugar dependent. But you can switch that to being a fat burner, which the way you do that is you lower your carbs. And I've got a keto cocktail that you can take. All this you'll learn in my challenge. I can't really go into all of that now, but that's how you keep from having a headache. I fast all the time now, and I never have a headache. And so, and all of my clients do too. If you're on here, you're one of my clients, and you do the fasting, you don't have the headache, just hit the heart button or say, I don't get a headache, and I fast often. Okay, so here's the product. It's cauliflower thins, okay? It's a delicious, versatile bread substitute. And here's what, now this is from Trader Joe's, but I think they have them on Amazon. I made me a hamburger tonight with some healthy mayonnaise, some good mustard, tomato, onion, arugula, and it was so good. I actually ate it like a sandwich. So I think that was one of the things I'm missing. But these are awesome. They're made with cauliflower, egg white, and Parmesan. And I just heat them up a little bit. They're kind of like those bread rounds, those bread thins. So I have been enjoying some, and I'm really going to enjoy when the tomatoes come in, the good tomatoes. And that was a pretty good tomato I had tonight. But, you know, making a tomato sandwich, you know, it's not something I'm going to have real often. But I am glad to know I'm not putting things in my body that are poisonous. Okay, so here's the drawing. So it's Chastity Henson. So I will be contacting Chastity to mail her some supplements. And usually what I mail is either raw wheatgrass juice, which is something I take every day, or vitamin D3 and K2. A lot of people are taking D, but you need it to be D3 and K2, not just vitamin D, because K2 actually helps you. Hey, Paula, K2 actually helps you to absorb the D3. And most people, the girl I signed up just a while ago, she said, I am deficient in vitamin D. And I'm like, that is a very unsafe place to be because it causes all kinds of things. All right, so let me see what this note is. It says, I used to get a headache often, and now I rarely get a headache. This works. I'm so grateful for this program and Dr. Nancy. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy has had an amazing transformation. We still got to do an interview, Tracy. The last one we tried to do, we couldn't get it to work. So maybe in the next few days. I know I'm doing Donna tomorrow, but maybe day after tomorrow. You and I, or maybe even the weekend. You're probably busy, but we might can get together just for a 10-minute over the phone. Or if you're coming to Athens, I'm going to be here. So let's get together. We can go shopping for those bathing suits. You know, when I was heavy, 30 pounds heavier, the last thing I wanted to do was buy a bathing suit. I was buying cover-ups. Why would you want to buy a bathing suit? Yeah. Okay, you're working 7/12. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a lot of working, Paula. Yeah. Okay, so all right, so I told you about that. I think I've told you about everything. So join me tomorrow. It's going to be in the morning, so you might not be able to catch it, but you'll be able to catch the replay. But share this video, and I'm going to do a drawing tomorrow night, and somebody else is going to get some free supplements. And then on Friday night is when I'm going to draw for a half price on the challenge. So be sure you share that video. And you'll go in my little bucket here and get a chance to win. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Hit the love button before you leave. Make a comment. Just put, I do fasting, or I want to learn how to fast, or something like that. But I love it. Yeah. Hey, Charlotte. Good to see you too. All right, I'm gonna jump off now. Have a good night.